Hello everybody, I am Hoarder Gamer, and this is Hoarder's Comic Flex. I hope you're doing well. Today, like usual, we've got comic book reviews, we've got games, we've got toys, pretty much in that order. And then we look at the very future of comic books, all the way to a week from today. First up, our first comic book, Carnage, #1. And it has been a long time coming, but Cletus Kasady is back in a very gruesome way. The book starts out with the Carnage entity talking to, I believe it's called a character known as the Master Librarian, at some weird place, some juncture in time and space type of thing. And it's the idea that, like, he's questioning now if he's a god. That's what Carnage is doing. And the Master Librarian is like, well, who worships you? Who cares about you? You know, what great things have you done and all this? And then as he occupies his mind, he goes and uses his staff, which has a black hole built into it, like into its like a sphere on top of it, and he banishes Carnage. Carnage ends up in Rikers Island, the same prison where Cletus Kasady was, and he murders and kills this a prisoner there, just a random prisoner, and then he eats him. He eats him, and then Carnage basically vomits up Cletus Kasady. Because if you've been reading your Venom comic books, you know about a thing called the Codex. And basically anyone that has been part of a specific symbiote is part of a Codex. And by eating this other person, he was able to use the DNA of Cletus Kasady and this other person apparently and rebirth Cletus Kasady. So Cletus and Carnage are back together again. And all throughout the book, Flash Thompson, also known as Anti-Venom, is kind of having a weird time of it. He feels there's something wrong, like a shift, something almost imperceptible, but something that the symbiote part of him realizes. And it goes throughout the entire comic book. Next up, Cletus/Carnage goes to a diner and he orders, you've probably always wondered, right? What kind of food does Cletus order? So he orders a burger with everything on it, including bacon, and then also waffles. And what does he read as he's there at the diner? Well, of course, it's the Bible. And he's quoting phrases from things from the Bible. Because, you know, he's scary and thinks he's a god. The waitress, young lady, she's listening to real crime podcasts as she's working. And because, you know, the symbiote and all that, he can hear it. And that gives him an idea. And he goes on an insane, massive killing spree. And everyone that Carnage kills later in the book, he basically puts a number on them. And I think he gets up to number 17 or something wild. It's really weird. Now, what's interesting is some of these people he kills seem to be criminals. Also, the young lady at the diner, he doesn't seem to do anything to her. So it could be, my theory right now, is maybe that even though that guy was in Rikers, that, like, was used to bring back Cletus Kasady, maybe he isn't quite as bad as Cletus Kasady was. Because you don't get much more monstrous than Cletus Kasady. And again, like I said, as the book goes on, Flash Thompson gets like a feeling that there's something very, very wrong. And it builds and builds and builds until he realizes that Carnage/Cletus Kasady Carnage is back. I thought it was a really good issue. I really liked it. It's very different than Ram V's take. And it's cool to get Flash Thompson again. You can actually see him on this variant cover right there. But yeah, Carnage #1 was really good. Torrin Grönbeck was a writer. Perez, the artist. Really good art. Very evocative, especially the scene where Carnage vomits up Cletus Cassidy. That might be too intense. Okay, that is our first comic book review, everybody. Now we're actually going to talk about video games. And we're going to talk about a video game that I am very much looking forward to. I think a lot of us are. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now, we are happily in what I would call almost a deluge of information on this game. Last Wednesday, not today, last week, we were able to see a really cool 20 minutes of like gameplay and behind the scenes, and it looked more polished than it did in February. It looked really cool, and the consensus overall is right now this looks like a lot of fun, which is a much better consensus than what was going on in February. I mean, we're always going to have, there's always going to be like haters and stuff like that, or people that are on the fence, and that's totally fine. But there were people that were like, oh my God, just going at it, and it got to be a bit much. So, now this week, besides that awesome 20 minutes we had last week, people started getting emails. And that email was about signing up for an early access alpha, I believe it was, an alpha. And it's coming up real soon. It's coming up real soon. Now, if you actually accept, if they offer to you and you accept, then like you can't say anything about it. Like you're breaking NDA. Like you might be able to say, hey, I'm part of that. Because, you know, people got the emails. People are talking about, you know, the non-NDA part of the email. So it could be that, like, that's okay just to say that, but you cannot stream it. You cannot talk about anything you're experiencing in the game. Anything at all like that. So it's all very hush-hush, you know, signing an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, in case you didn't know. And, yeah, so definitely, if you got that email, sign up right away. Also, online you can find like links and things to actually try signing up. Apparently, they're not accepting everybody. I'm hoping to get in. I'm usually relatively lucky when it comes to WB betas or alphas. Usually, can't say which ones, but here's hoping. Here's hoping I get into this one. Let's see. I hope a lot of people get in. That'd be great. It'd be awesome if it was like all the people that supported it, even like in February. And I do have to admit, after the 20 minutes of footage that hit last week, if you look back at the old footage from February, it does look rougher. It does. So I do kind of see that. There's even like with Harley Quinn, there's a certain level of like almost jankiness to movement in the February video that they showed. So things just weren't quite as polished as they should be. Doom, good to see you. How you doing? But yeah, things weren't just quite as polished as they should be. And I think this new 20-minute video is great. Now, this week, besides the awesome email and the, you know, the early access alpha that hopefully a lot of us will be able to get into for Suicide Squad, they also have character trailers that started, and I think they started Monday. Harley Quinn character trailer, and also a King Shark character trailer. The King Shark trailer was today. And just a couple notes I took as I watched these trailers. So basically, we're going to start with Harley Quinn. As Amanda Waller says, a mad one-woman show that takes nothing seriously. And that's definitely true. That's a great way to sum up Harley Quinn. Okay? And then there's this great moment where Harley is like, so, are you going to commute our sentences here, or is there like a ceremony? And Amanda Waller is so completely disgusted, she just like pushes Harley away. And she just looks, you see the disgust in her face. It's just awesome. And it's so true to the relationship between Amanda Waller and Harley in like the comic books, the movies, all of it. So that was really good. And I thought that sentence was funny because Harley, you know, having that, I don't know if she has a PhD, but I mean, she was like a psychiatrist or a psychologist. So she knows quite a bit. So the whole thing about commuting sentences and everything. Then for King Shark, he gets an amazing quote as you see him kick ass and like tear enemies apart. He is supposed to be super brutal, okay? His quote is, "This God shows no mercy." I can't quite do it like Samoa Joe, but like it was awesome. I was like, that is a badass quote. I look forward to hearing that in game. And as we find out from Amanda Waller, and which is true to DC Comics, King Shark is the only member of the four that can go toe-to-toe with Superman. So that's exciting. That's exciting. I was kind of wondering how they were going to go about all that and what they were going to utilize and what they weren't. Like in the comics, and I think even in the Suicide Squad movie, I believe that, let's see. Oh my God, I forget his name. Well, forget it. The idea that there's a kryptonite bullet that could be shot from a gun. So that's where I thought they were headed. I thought it was going to be about getting some kryptonite, making kryptonite bullets, because we all carry guns, and then, you know, probably Deadshot is the one that fires the real kryptonite bullet that takes out Superman. That was my thought. I didn't know if they would go with King Shark. I wasn't sure. You know? Also, for all we know, Wonder Woman might help us. You know? What comic is it that shows that? Well, I kind of screwed things up and I can't remember the character name Doom, so I apologize. But the idea of using a kryptonite bullet has been done in the comics. I was about to say a name and it's a different DC villain. So. But yeah, there was a whole thing about like Lex Luthor and all that. I figured they'd get kryptonite from him, you know. I figured that's where we were headed with the game. But then in that other footage we saw that was back in February, Flash and actually Brainiac, I guess, kidnap Lex Luthor, and we end up like saving him after we fight a giant cannon. And for the record, I had no issue with giant purple spots. I had no issue with giant purple spots. Yes, it is Idris Elba's character. Is it Bloodsport? I was going to say Blood Work, but that's a Flash villain. Blood Work is like a Flash villain, and I'm like, oh, Bloodshot. No, that's a completely different comic book company. I think that's Valiant, possibly. So many names are so similar. So yeah, they could amend that whole concept and have it be Deadshot that fires the bullet. Or they could surprise us, and in the actual story, Bloodsport could show up. I gotta be honest with you, I wouldn't be too upset if they took elements from the, I gotta keep saying it correctly, the Suicide Squad movie. The James Gunn one. Okay, make sure we... If they had Starro in there, I wouldn't mind. Because my thought is right away when they showed Brainiac's ship, depending on the writer, Brainiac's ship has like a menagerie. He collects things, like creatures and all this sorts of stuff. And my hope was that Starro was aboard that ship, and that things are going to go even crazier if Starro is involved. You know, like something like, oh, it's Brainiac, it's Brainiac, it's Brainiac. Uh-oh, something happened to the ship. Starro's loose. Giant 30, 40-foot Starro. People running around with Starros in their heads. Also, I wonder if we're going to get information we don't have yet. Like, there's the whole thing, like, once you're turned, Green Lantern basically says in that 20 minutes, once you're turned into one of Brainiac's army, there's no coming back. Well, if there was a way coming back, why would Green Lantern say so if he's under Brainiac's control? So I'm wondering if there's going to find a way in order to reverse it, and that, like, the soldiers can be turned back to human. Because otherwise, you get a kind of hollow victory, right? You save Metropolis and, like, the world, but, like, millions of people in Metropolis are dead. So I've been kind of wondering about that myself. Oh, I'm really hyped about the gear system. I look forward to that. And a lot of people forgot about there's going to be gear based specifically around supervillains. And in the February video, we saw Bane gear. So think of just like your favorite DC villains. There's a good chance that there's going to be gear based on them, which also becomes a really cool Easter egg. Something fun to hunt down for your, like, favorite villains. And then, I looked this up, so hopefully this is all correct. Okay, in February we saw this cool holographic woman. Her name is Hack. Her actual AKA is Zalika. And Zalika is shown very briefly in the February footage, and looks like she's, like, in a coma and on a gurney. But somehow her, like, spiritual or non-physical self is like a digital analog or something, and she will help us upgrade the bombs in our heads. But yeah, when I looked up the information, it said Hack, aka Zalika. And as far as I know, Zalika is not a character in DC Comics. Who cares? It's great to see you, Doctor Who. Hello, Doctor. Will they really kill the Justice League? I don't know. It's a very good question. I'm very careful with what I say here because there were rumors and leaks about certain things that are going on that we do not know about. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how Endgame works. It'll be very interesting to see how Endgame works. Oh, hell yeah. I'm definitely going to be running through Metropolis with, like, everybody I know, Doctor. You, Doom, Jay, Hero Mentor. I'm not going to name everybody, but... all of a sudden, 10 minutes is like me naming everybody, and like I'm out of breath, and I'm like, spring rolls. Like I just can't like remember, or like I'm like don't want to miss anybody. I'm like visibly sweating. No, but I look very forward to playing it with all my mutuals. That's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Let's see. Did I have anything else that was cool for Suicide Squad? Oh, pre-orders are live on Amazon.com US. You're probably like, what's the big deal? They were live last week. Not through Amazon.com. It was like Sunday or Monday or something wacky. I don't know what happened or why, but I finally was able to pre-order the deluxe edition on Amazon.com US. Also, some sad news, everybody, okay? Not terribly sad, but disappointing. Right now, it looks like the Steelbook might be a non-US thing. Like Amazon France or something like that. Now, if that's the case, and Amazon doesn't have it yet for pre-orders, it could end up to be something that GameStop gets in the US or Best Buy. It's hard to say, because when they get like Steelbooks and stuff like that, it's not at pre-order. It's not at pre-order. If GameStop got it, they'd be announcing it probably in December. Like a month before the game comes out to entice more pre-orders. Very similar with Best Buy as well. So hopefully we'll get the Steelbook. I know some people didn't like it too much, but I think the whole like simplicity of it is great. And the yellow Kill the Justice League looked really good on it. I thought that all really kind of meshed well. Avengers, but a better game. Well, I mean, it's gonna have, well, oh my god, as much as I love Marvel's Avengers, okay, the world design of Suicide Squad is next level. The signage, the statues, the possible working monorail system, I don't even know. But like, it looks so good. It looks so good. There are moments where I was just taken aback by how good Metropolis looks in this game. And then also, on top of that, cross-play, cross-progression. Things that Marvel's Avengers needed so badly. Everybody, if you disagree, hear me out here. So it's coming out on PC, it's coming out on PS5, and it's coming out on Series X, right? Okay. So, coming out in all those different ways. Let us say it's a huge hit on PlayStation. And it has like average 30, 40,000 players, like constantly. Okay? Which is actually really good for constant. And let's say that on Xbox it only has like 2,000 or 3,000. And on PC it's got like 1,000 or 2,000. Because it's cross-play, cross-progression, they would still see it as both profitable and popular and continue making content for it. Now, if it didn't have cross-play, cross-progression, and only one of those was really successful, that starts making things more difficult, and the chance of getting a lot more content starts to dissipate. I wanted to say disappear and dissipate at the same time, but dissipate won out. Only problem, it only brings in Metropolis. Metropolis is huge, Doom. So I believe that there are going to be areas of Metropolis where you're going to think you're almost in a different city. Because it's like called like the City of Tomorrow or whatever. So I'm expecting it to have like huge, crazy differences in different parts. You know? Oh, Mike Ortega, don't even start. Mike, don't even start. Don't even start. You're like, DLC, how about an entirely new city? Like, why not Coast City? I like how Mike is like the most difficult and expensive DLC. An entirely new city. I'd love that. I'd love to go back to Gotham. That'd be great. I would love to see Gotham with this engine. This engine is beautiful. Like, there are moments where I was looking at these statues and I'm like, wow, that's really not like normal or maybe even doable in reality, but man, do they look cool. As you're climbing up a Batman building with the little Batman ears coming out the side. Like, it looks so good. It all looks so good. Okay, I think we've geeked out enough on video games this week. I think we have. And now, if you notice, there's less clutter. less clutter on the screen. But we're still about to get into our part about toys. We're about to toy around, everybody. We're about to toy around. And first up, we have Wonder Woman. Look at that. Look at that gorgeous figure. Okay? That is an excellent take on Wonder Woman. There's elements there that are old school and new school, and I think it's really cool looking. That's one of the McFarlane collector's lines. So, you're going to get like a card display, 3 weapons, a shield, and it's $29.99. So right now, for the most part, DC McFarlane figures are $24.99 to $29.99. Collector's editions, you get a few more items with them, and maybe a bit more detail, and they're $29.99. But right now, this is already sold out at Amazon, Big Bad Toy Store, and the place where you can support me, entertainmentearth.com. However, GameStop.com still has it for pre-order. Everyone wants this Diana figure. Okay? Everyone wants this figure. That's the type of thing I usually don't see when I cover these toys. Pre-orders went live today, and Amazon, they were gone in an hour or two, and then even Entertainment Earth was gone by 3 or 4 in the afternoon, so like an hour or two after that. I have another picture of this one. One second here. That gives you an idea of everything it comes with. So you get her lasso of truth, you get a sword, you get a axe, and then you get her shield. Okay, and there's a lot of detail on the outfit as well as the shield. Plus there's that card and card holder. So that's everything right there with the Wonder Woman Collector's Edition figure from McFarlane Toys. Okay, now I am not the biggest fan of all these like Jokerized figures. So the idea is taking a character from the Batman universe and giving them a Joker spin. But psychologically speaking, this one would be terrifying. Barbara Gordon. After what the Joker does to Barbara, her losing her mind and becoming Jokerized is terrifying. And here you get 4 collector cards, actually 5 collector cards. You get the collector base, which is that cool like green tone to it. You get a really interesting colored Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, and then a really cool base that she stands on. So I honestly think of all the Jokerized figures, this is one of my favorites. I'm trying to think which is the other one. There was one specific Batman one that was good. I'm trying to think what else. But like, for the most part, I don't love the whole Jokerized line. Okay. Next up, we have from the Loyal Subjects, Super Shredder. Okay. The BST AXN Best Action Loyal Subjects Super Shredder. And he's a 5-inch figure with a ton of accessories and a 100-page Best of Shredder comic book. $39.99. $39.99, available at Amazon. I thought it was really cool. I like Super Shredder. This is a very detailed take on Super Shredder. And like I said, it has a number of extras that come with him. So I thought it was something I definitely wanted to cover. So there it is. And everybody, make sure to let me know if you like this new format more. I think it looks a bit cleaner than usual. And I like it. So we'll see what everyone else thinks. So everybody, we are done toying around. Okay? But we're not quite done with the show. First up, we have to look at the near future of comic books. And then after that, we have our final review of the evening, which is going to be Batman Off-World #1, right here. But before that, like I just mentioned, we're going to look at the future of comic books, the near future of comic books, all the way to 1 week from today. And first up, we have Moon Knight. Moon Knight 29. And as you can see on the top of the cover, the last days of Moon Knight. Yes. Basically, things have been going pretty insane since issue 25. And massive change of the status quo with issue either 30 or 31. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to go about it. But yeah, here's issue 29. And we're counting down. Yep. If you're a fan of Moon Knight, this is an excellent book. McKay is one of the best writers I can think of for Moon Knight, at least for me anyway. I like him a lot. He's done a really good job. Next up, we have Batman, not just Batman. You know, Batman's on this show all the time. I'm a huge Batman fan, that's why. Batman 89 Echoes. Okay, so Sam Hamm, he's the screenwriter who wrote Batman, the 1989 Batman movie, the huge, massive success. He wrote that. Okay, so then he had like a version, an idea of what the script would be for the next one, but he did not write Batman Returns. Okay? A Batman 89 comic book came out last year. Maybe it was 2 years now. I wouldn't say it was last year. And it was all about Harvey Dent Two-Face. Okay? And it was awesome because it was based on the Billy D. Williams Two-Face. So if you'll remember, Harvey Dent in the 89 Batman movie was played by Billy D. Williams. So it was a really cool take on Robin, Batman, even like Selena Kyle shows up. Batman 89 was really good. I will admit, I didn't love the last issue as much as I did the rest of the series, but I thought it was good. And here we have Batman 89 Echoes. And here the idea is that Batman is missing and that all these vigilantes are showing up in Gotham to fight villains and or supervillains. And they're getting badly hurt if not killed. And the question is, where is Batman? Where is the Bat? So, yeah, issue 1 starts next week. I believe it's 6 issues total. And then they'll end up doing a hardcover trade, so keep that in mind. Currently, they also have Superman 78. Something about, I think it's the Iron Curtain it's called. And that's a version of Superman based on the 80s movies. So. Okay. Next up, we have Titans Beast World #1. Kind of, sort of like Starro, but not exactly. The Necrostar has been turning the heroes of DC into dangerous, monstrous beasts. And the Titans need to be able to stop them. And they talk about like how scary a truly feral Batman would be. So yeah, Titans Beast World #1. A good chance I'll review this actually. Tom Taylor is a really good writer, and I think he'll do a good job with this. Also a decent chance I would do Batman 89 Echoes. So we'll see exactly. We'll see exactly what I end up reviewing. Again, if you like this format more, let me know. The idea of just having this, stuff set up where I can just click between it all and everything, I think works better than me trying to move things in live time. So. Okay, everybody. we are not done with the episode yet. We have one final review, and as I mentioned, it is Batman Off-World #1. This is an early Batman, not a Batman in his prime, okay? And we have to start at the end to tell the story. So basically the idea is that Batman is fighting different like crime bosses and crime lords in Gotham City early on in his career. And I believe it was the leader of the Irish Mafia in Gotham actually gets some muscle that's from Off-World. It's not explained how, but I mean, intergang is a thing in DC Comics, you know? So maybe intergang. They don't just like, as far as I know, they don't just run weapons. So anyway, Bruce has to fight this alien creature and realizes he's completely out of his depth. And once this happens, he spends $500 million of Wayne Foundation money to build a ship so he can go to outer space and fight all different types of creatures to become a better Batman and a better fighter. And it's intense. And it's really cool. And it's Jason Aaron. I believe it's the first time he's written Batman. So I highly recommend this. There's some great monster designs or alien designs. There's a scene of Batman with a chainsaw cutting through cyborgs. Character by the name of Ione is actually possibly trying to help Batman, but maybe not. And these aliens are confused at first by him because they see the wings and they're like, wait, what are with these fake wings and all this? And the opening's awesome because like you think it's like human beings in outer space that like encounter aliens, but it's aliens as they take their helmets off encountering Batman. Batman's the alien. So yeah, I really like this. I think it's going to be a very cool series. I want to say it's 6 issues, but yeah, Batman Off-World #1. Again, Jason Aaron as the writer, and hopefully they have the full name here. It says Mahnke, Mahnke, is the artist, and I think it's Aaron Mahnke. Did he not say? Doug, I apologize. It's Doug Mahnke. But yeah, Batman Off-World, if you're a Batman fan, if you're a fan of Batman out of his element, an early Batman and not really near perfect type of Batman, yeah, super cool. Super cool. Everybody, I want to thank you all very much for watching. If you like the new setup, I guess, for the show, let me know. Thank you to Doomkiller HD and Doom Squad Gaming for again letting me borrow your channel. Thank you. And I hope everyone has a delightful Thanksgiving, and I hope you enjoy this show. If you like the show, feel free to sub, and tell someone else about it. I'm not someone to like harp and preach all throughout the episode that you should constantly sub, but if you want to, it's cool. Thank you very much, everybody, and I hope you have a great week. Bye-bye.